How you guys doing? This is the brand new, just released HPI Savage XL. And today, we are going to unbox it. This is one of the first ones being shipped to America. It was purchased on a pre-order special. And I am honored to be one of the first YouTubers in North America to unbox it. The Savage name made history 20 years ago when they came out with the original Savage 21. And since then, people have been trying to buy more Savages. Luckily, HPI is back with their biggest, newest 3-speed Savage XL 5.9 big block. You can pick these up at HRP, which is the North American distributor. They retail for $699. Let's take a look around the box before we open it up and discuss some of the major updates and upgrades made to this newest Savage. You could see it now comes with standard 17mm wheel hubs, very important. The 3-speed transmission, which is what made the Savage XL great. On the front of the box, they're advertising the 45+ miles per hour. And I gotta tell you guys, my last generation XL, I was able to hit 46 with a fairly normal rich tune running stock. New motor is the F5.9 to replace the K5.9 from the last generation. Next up, we have the new updated wheel and tire package. These are exactly the same size as the regular Savage GT6. The 3-speed transmission, it does come with updated metal gears inside. From what I understand, the Savage Octane. We have an aluminum tuned pipe, a major advantage compared to the regular 4.6 Savage. Standard 17mm aluminum wheel hubs. An updated Roto Start 3 system. We're gonna take a look at all of this. Brand new Savage. First look for me, as well as all of you guys. Perfectly wrapped in the box. The packaging seems incredible. Very typical for HPI. Usually they just put another cardboard here so that way nothing slides around here. The wheels, we're gonna take a look at them in a little bit. We have the manual there on the bottom. On this side, we have the new updated radio. Okay. Next, we have the new Roto Start 3 unit, along with the Roto Start 3 shaft. Let's take it out of the box. The first time the Savage is out. Here it goes, guys. Gotta tell you, there's nothing like taking out a giant Nitro from a box for your very first time. Overall impressions, man, I think I am in love. This wheel design, if you take a very close look, this is actually the brand, the HPI pattern logo that they put on the wheel itself. Very interesting. Otherwise, the wheels are soft. The foam feels perfectly mated for this tire. And they are exactly the same as the outgoing GT6, which means tire size options, upgrades, 17mm hubs are not a problem. Under the Savage, there are a couple spare parts trees here. Looks like we have some tools, we have shock spacers, and we have the roll cage head protector there. We have a nice large metal glow plug wrench and also the 17mm hub wrench there, which is going to be necessary later on. We have the Savage XL manual. All of the HPI manuals are very fun to read. I would say this is funner than pretty much any Harry Potter book that you could read. Trust me, guaranteed. I've read this, and I have not read Harry Potter, and I am proud of that. My first impression of the Savage as I just took it out of the box, I gotta tell you guys, it is really wide here in the front. When I remove the body and we'll take the tire off, we'll see why. Just gonna tell you, you don't need to keep guessing. This is not an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. We got wheel extensions here. One of the unique features about the Savage XL. Let's take the body off. The body is really, really nice. So the XL model, if you noticed, it looks like a double cab design. What is this called? A double cab, extra cab, crew cab? Yeah, crew cab over here. So the regular GT6, it just comes with one window, and then here, this is usually where the rear of the pickup truck begins. This one, we have the crew cab configuration. If this was a Ford, they would call this the King Ranch. All the truck guys would understand this. Here you go. Congratulations. First look at the Savage chassis. The most obvious thing, we have the XL logo right here. All Savages, they're very easy to identify. If you have the Savage X, it'll say Savage X. If you have the XL, it will say XL. This one does not disappoint. Chassis is beautiful, anodizing job. The star of the show is really the 3-speed transmission. The next star of the show is this F5.9 size engine. Take a look at all of the space behind the motor. This is where the Savage gets its XL name from. They basically added about 1.5 inches to the rear. If you look at the regular GT6 model, the exhaust will be right next to the shock tower. Let's check out the stock suspension settings. How are the shocks? The dampening is impeccable. The Savage is known to have one of the smoothest, plushest suspension setups that money can buy, and I like it. In fact, there is one drastic difference between this and the outgoing XL, and that is the fact that they have transitioned over to one big bore shock on each suspension arm. Personally, I think it's a good idea. Having to tune, fix, check both shocks on each arm is a little bit of a hassle on the older generation of Savages. Front suspension, I would say, is terrific, exactly how I want it. I'm applying a good amount of pressure here with my hand, and it is really hard to get it to bottom out. That means when you're trying to take a jump, you're not going to try to kill this whole front end. By the way, this model does have the carried over captured hinge pins, just like the older GT6 model did. HPI kept almost all of the upgrades that they had when they released the regular X4.6 and adapted them to this XL, except they gave it more speeds and they gave it a bigger motor. Check out the rear end. The rear end is extremely well dampened as well. I would say this is how I would want and prefer all of my shock setup to be. The best things about the XL model compared to the GT6, you have a lot of upgrades. You have parts here that people spend a lot of money on to make the other Savage great. We're gonna start with the aluminum tuned pipe. Beautiful looking tuned pipe, dual chamber design. We have a metal spur gear. Very useful feature on the regular non-XL chassis. Those are plastic spur gears. A lot of things here that are upgrades really hard to see, mainly the 3-speed transmission that's inside. Obviously, you're gonna have to take my word for it. It's inside, it's there. Now this motor is almost 4 horsepower. That's a lot of horsepower for something that weighs about 13 pounds. And I'm excited to hear that 3-speed kick soon. Another interesting design feature, and this goes for all of the new Savages, the bumpers. They are LED ready, so if you wanted to stick some LEDs right here, you already have a housing that is designed just for them. Let's take a look on the underside. Now this is similar to every other Savage. You have a twin vertical plate chassis. They are fairly, I would say, easy to work on. Some people would say they're not easy, but honestly guys, there's really not much here that you're ever really working on. You already have a metal spur gear. It's almost impossible to destroy that. You have pretty serious looking dual disc brakes. Now something I want to point out, it might be a little bit tough to notice. Do you notice how wide this truck is? It is extremely wide. I'm going to take off one of the wheels and I will show you guys why that is the case. With one of the wheels removed, you're looking at the Savage wheel extension. Now this is a feature that carried over from the old Savage XL. It's getting a lot of extra width. You gotta understand, you have this extension on each side. So you're getting, I would say, about an extra inch altogether. I would say this is about a 1/2 inch in my opinion. Beautiful looking 17mm hubs. very beefy, strong suspension. You have aluminum braces where you need them. There's really no way you can kill a Savage, guys. And I am happy HPI has re-released one of their greatest hits ever made, in my opinion. I am about ready to do the first start, the break-in, and I went to examine the radio gear. And check this out. You see this red plug, guys? This is called the JST plug. This Savage did not even come with a AA battery holder. It did not come with a hump pack, which is quite weird because I remember the old generation Savage XL. They came with the 5-cell hump packs. But you know what? We don't need a radio. We know how to fire up nitros on this channel. We're going to fire it up either way. We're gonna take off the stop sticker from the cooling head. Melissa, you using your expensive nails? What color is that?
Blue.
Expensive blue? Okay. Could have bought more nitros with that, but it's all right. Here we have ourselves a caution read manual for recommended fuels. Well, recommended fuels, I highly recommend Bones Brew. I am not sponsored by them. They do not know who I am. This is just good quality fuel, guys. 30% nitro, 10% oil. You can only order it online. Don't even tell them who I am because they won't know. Trust me. This is a 100% unbiased Nitro Gang review. First tank of nitro. This feels great. Going to put about half a tank. You don't really need more than that because you never know how this is gonna go. We don't have the radio system hooked up. As you can tell, we're still missing the battery. But it's okay. We should have no problem firing it up. We are at neutral idle here on the throttle linkage. As I'm waiting for the engine to come up to a little bit of a higher temperature so I could break it in, it'll be an easier first start with this engine heater. Just want to talk a little bit about some of the things you need to do when you get any new nitro. First thing you got to do, check to make sure your air filter is pre-oiled. Now this one, as I look on the inside there, there's a second element. The blue element is highly oiled. I like it. And there's also evidence of it being pre-oiled because if you notice right here, we have some remnants of the oil dropping down here. So it's a really nice touch that HPI even pre-oiled the air filter for you. Most nitros these days do not come with pre-oiled air filters. Nice touch. First thing we got to do, I'm going to leave the head warmer on. Time to fire it up. First thing we got to do is prime it. Plug the exhaust and prime. Going to watch fuel here in this awesome clear fuel line. Oh yeah, I saw that fuel. All right, motor should be fully primed. You don't want to over prime it. Glow driver is in. The first fire. Crazy compression, crazy compression. First start gave me absolutely zero problems on the Savage XL. I'm happy with it. I love the fit and finish. The motor fired right up. Should you get one of these, get it as soon as you can, guys. In the next couple videos, I will be bringing you some more awesome Savage XL content. I will compare this against the outgoing Savage XL, because I know a lot of us people out there, we have the last generation Savage, and we want to know, should I get the new one? The answer is yes, you should get it. Buy more Nitros. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back later. Boom. Nitro World Order.
Nitro World Order. Nitro World Order.